Evening for the regular scheduled TDC meeting. If I could, call the meeting to order and have please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. Have the clerk call roll call, please. Here.
John Cariosa.
Here.
Brian Myers. Holly Smith.
Here.
Pam Cronin.
Here.
Tony Nobby.
Here.
Rob Wells.
Here.
Bill Wachula.
Here.
Brian Kramer. All is excused. We have a quorum.
Thank you. Good to have Nicole come forward, please, for a presentation. Right?
Yeah, she's checking somebody in.
Thank you. Good morning. It's a pleasure to be able to present today's CGSPs. This is our Certified Guest Service Professional Program. And for those of you that do not know, in our destination, we have a partnership with the American Hotel Lodging Education Institute. And we're one of the first destinations to actually partner with the American Hotel Lodging Education Institute. And since the program has been implemented in our destination here in Lee County, we have actually had over 2,000 people come through our program, and we are currently up to 680 certified guest service professionals. Woo! That's amazing. So not only are we the first to partner with the destination and have a program like this to be offered throughout Lee County, but we have stepped up our game in our program, and we are now certifying organizations and properties. And what that means is if you get 100% of your participants certified through our certification program, then your property now becomes a certified destination or property as well. So I am proud to announce that the Lee County Visitor Convention Bureau has reached their goal. We are 100% certified, and I would like to take this honor and present Ms. Tamara Pygott with our plaque that we have, because we are now a certified guest service partner and destination with the American Hotel Lodging Education Institute. So Ms. Tamara.
Well, I don't want to say anything, but I want all the people in the room that are VCB staff, because 100% of them are certified, have their CGSP, to please stand up so that you're recognized.
You're welcome.
Thank you guys for doing all the hard work. So we're going to stay up here.
Yes.
And shake hands.
So talk about hard work. Again, in order to become certified, you have to go through a minimum of 6 modules, 7 if you're a manager. And since we've done the presentation in April, we have close to 100 CGSPs that have been certified to date. So again, we're at 680 for the county total. So as I call your name, please come forward. All right, so Bailey's Matthews National Shell Museum, Austin Salander. And when you come forward, come this way. We're going to shake hands, and then we're going to give you your certificate and your pen. Beach Club 1, VR1 Property Management, Christopher Pierce. Bonita Springs Chamber, Nita Barbero and Lauren Ware. Captain Brian on the Water, Brian Holloway and Melanie Holloway. The Drury Inn, Scott France. Luther. Edison and Ford Winter Estates. We have Michael Bryant, Deborah Crawford, Rita Lewis, Mary Beth O'Lear, Saranjani Singh, from the Everglades Wonder Garden, we have Selene Hernandez. From Lee County, we have Clarissa Lee. From Lee County Parks and Recreation, we have Charles Hall and Jeff Holbrook. From the Lee County Port Authority, we have Chandra Dempsey. From the Lee County Tax Collector, we have Tiffany Black. From the Lee County Visitor Convention Bureau, we have Brittany Broomer, Anne Marie Jim, Jennifer Walla, Crystal Wyatt. From the Mango Street Inn, we have Tree Andre. From the Mountain House, we have Karina Bertez. From the Pink Show Beach Resort and Marina, we have Shibley Lewis, Christina Tabarachi. From Sanibel Moorings Resort, we have R.J. Snyder. From the Sun Village Vacations Bonita Village Resort, we have Barbara Rich. From the Sundown Beach Resort and Spa, we have Brandon Wooten. From the Windward Passage Resort, we have Jessica Alberto. And from Zuma's Amusement Park, we have Dibia Lusk. All right. At this time, this concludes this presentation, and again, congratulations for all your hard work and dedication, and a special thank you to the community for supporting our program and being a host. Thank you.
Hey, Tam, we might have missed a couple of people. I don't know. We may have missed a couple of people who were in the audience. Maybe, I think maybe. That were in the audience to get called up. Maybe that's why he's there. I don't know that.
Next month. Sorry. They your staff? Nope. Nope. Did you recognize someone?
Maybe. Hey, ladies. Ladies, do we miss you?
You did not want.
We're sorry to have called y'all on the way in. Do you want to? Hang tight just a minute. We'll see.
Well-
Yes, congratulations.
Well done.
Who are you with? Calling in. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you and congratulations to all, and definitely our visitors are in good hands in the future. That's good news, and if they miss somebody, they should get them next time, hopefully.
We'll get them next time, for sure.
Thank you. Okay, I have a motion to approve the minutes from August 9th.
So moved.
We have a motion? Second. Any discussion? Any objection? No objection, motion carries. And this time we'd like to call for public input. On any item? Public comment on the items?
I do have, sir, a little email that Jackie Lissick from the Fort Myers Beach Chamber sent. She couldn't join us today, but she asked me if I would read it into the record. Will you guys entertain that?
Sure. Would you like to do that now?
Do you mind?
No, that's perfect.
I figured since it's public to be heard. It says, to everyone who had a part in Singer-Songwriter Fest, on behalf of the Fort Myers Beach businesses and Fort Myers Beach community, I would like to extend to you a heartfelt thank you for this event. The festival filled the bars, restaurants, hotels, gift shops, and streets with people laughing, drinking, eating, dancing, and enjoying our island. The event sponsors were delightful, the singers and songwriters were humble and inspiring, and the staff and support team from the VCB were top-notch. After the events of this summer, we couldn't have asked for a better medicine. You brought life back to our island, and we are so appreciative. Thank you, thank you, thank you for everything you did to bring us this amazing event. And I'm here to tell you, we can't wait for next year. With all the best, Jackie Lissick, on behalf of the Fort Myers Beach community. And Jackie, of course, is the president and CEO of the Fort Myers Beach Chamber.
Taylor, thank you for the comments. It was a great time. It's perfect timing for that. We needed something like that, so it's a good thing. So thank you. Okay, this time we'll close public comment. There's no one to be heard. We'll go to municipalities to be heard. Any municipality here to address the council? Okay. Go on to the report of the executive director. Cameron.
All right. So because we did not have a meeting in September, I'm going to share with you both July and August data. July bed tax collection came in at $26.7 million, down 2.2%. August bed tax collection came in at $1.44 million, down 16.4%. Year to date, through the August collections, we have increased bed tax revenue for the fiscal year 6.8%. This is the first time we've broken the 40 million mark. Despite the challenges of the summer, as we all know, we were having a good year to begin with. Fiscal year 2018 will be a record-breaking year for bed tax collection, with September still remaining. The STAR report, you will see occupancy and ADR and RevPAR down slightly in July. You'll see a much stronger decrease in the August report. I think that, to be real frank, I think we all thought July might be down a little bit before the water quality issues began. 4th of July fell on Wednesday. Not exactly the best day, I think, for you guys in the hotel business to have it fall on the Wednesday. I anticipated we were going to see a little bit of dip just based on my conversations with hoteliers. But I think where you begin to see the impacts of the water challenges is in that August collection, really. The airport, on the other hand, had increases in both July and August. And you'll see for the year to date, through August, they're up 5% at 6.6 million passengers. I'm going to ask Jill to come up and give you an update on our sales activity for the final quarter of the fiscal year.
Good morning, Council. I'm Jill Vance, Director Sales, and I will be going over our sales activities. Here's a recap of our year-end results for this fiscal year's sales goals. So the first goal was to increase by 5% the number of group meeting RFPs sent to our hotel partners. And we sent 478 leads, attaining 94% of our goal for the year. Although we did not attain this goal, we did still send the same amount of RFPs as last year, and you'll see in my next slide that the leads that we did send were better qualified for the destination. The next goal was to increase by 4% the group meeting room nights booked by our hotel partners from the leads that we sent them. And over 43,000 room nights were booked, thereby attaining our goal by 119%. The next goal was to host 125 travel professionals here in the destination through familiarization and site tours. And we did attain 158% of this goal. The next goal was for the sales team to hold 25 client events, and we attained 168% of this goal. And the final goal was to increase by 15% the number of wedding leads sent, and we attained 179% of that goal. Now, since we have our final production results for this fiscal year, I thought it would be helpful to drill down into these numbers and take a look at the group market segment production. So we'll look at the corporate market first. 53% of all of our group leads sent were corporate leads. 33% of our corporate leads were booked by our hotel partners, giving us a conversion rate of 11%, which is about double that of last year. And what's nice about booking more corporate business is corporate market is typically higher rated and has a much shorter booking window. So it enables our hotels to fill those holes, those softer periods, with last-minute group business. So we want to definitely stay on this path. Now, the association market, 34% of our group leads sent were from this market, and then 53% of all our association leads were booked by our hotel partners, giving us a conversion rate of 27%. So as you can see, our association market continues to be our strongest market, with over half of our booked group room nights. And for Smurf, 13% of all of our group leads sent were from this market, and then 13% of all of our Smurf leads were booked by our hotel partners, giving us a conversion rate of 20%, which is almost triple that of last year. So what does all this mean? Bottom line, although we sent less leads than last year, the leads that we did send were better qualified to fit the destination and more bookable by our hotel partners, thereby resulting in more group room nights booked, and an increase in our total conversion rate by 4% year over year. Okay, VCB on the road. Here are some of our group sales team's activities for last quarter, and I just want to point out one of the shows that is Connect Marketplace. Both Aaron and Betsy divided and conquered, each taking a market, one corporate, one association, and they were able to meet one-on-one with over 70 meeting planners. And last year, almost 1,300 group room nights were booked as a direct result of this show. So we expect the same great results this year. And also, Erin attended Smart Meetings East National Show. This was a new show for us, and she was able to meet with 23 corporate meeting planners from Fortune 500 companies looking to book a Florida destination. And some highlights from our consumer and travel agent team's activities. The photo in the middle is Jennifer attending the Delta Vacations University Trade Show, where over 2,000 of their highest producing travel agents were in attendance, and the timing of this show is fantastic. It's right before the travel agents get busy with their seasonal bookings, and it's a great time to showcase our destination for season business. Next, our upcoming activities for the domestic sales team. And I just want to point out a couple for October. The first one is Erin will be attending the FSAE Executive Series event. And the Beaches of Fort Myers and Sanibel is the exclusive sponsor for this event, which enables us to present to a captive audience of 45 Florida Association executives. And I just want to remind you that last quarter, FSAE chose our destination to host their annual conference for 2023. So we definitely want to stay top of mind with this group. I also would like to point out that Meetings Today Live, Erin will be attending. This is a hosted buyer, appointment-based trade show, and the meeting planners are looking to book specifically in the southeast portion of the country. And finally, I'd like to point out the Bio Florida Conference. So this is another new show for us, and we have, Candace will be attending this in our effort to grow the education portion of the Smurf market. We can grow it by attracting life science education conferences. So there will be about 400 professionals attending this event, and we're really looking forward to seeing what this show brings us. Then November, just to highlight several of them, Jerry will be attending the HPN Global Conference. This is another new show for us, and as some of you know, HPN is a third party with about 160 meeting planners, and we have a lot of room for growth with this company, so we're hoping to do just that at becoming a partner with them this year. Also, Visit Florida is hosting their Florida Encounter Conference. Right here in Lake County, we are the host destination, and this is a great opportunity for us to showcase what makes our destination special for meetings and incentive programs to over 200 meeting planners. And there are two more, they're new shows, so I want to just point them out quickly. SpinCon. So SPIN is a network of, get this, 2,600 senior meeting planners. They all have an average of 20 years experience in their field. They manage budgets totaling $6 billion annually for their corporate association and incentive programs. And most of them are management level within their company, so what a great audience to get in front of. And also Stadium Series East. Betsy will be attending this. She'll conduct one-on-one appointments with 30 corporate meeting planners and incentive buyers in New York City. And lastly, for December, I just want to point out that for the second year, Betsy will be attending the American Express Interaction Show. About 1,200 American Express third-party meeting planners will be in attendance. And last year, we sent 18 leads as a direct result of this show, and about 1,300 group room nights went to contract with our hotel partners. So another great show to attend. Are there any questions before I turn it over to Stephanie? Yes.
Yeah, my question would be, the association markets, your conversion rate, you have a much larger percentage success on that versus the corporate market. Do you have any thoughts as to why that is when you're talking to the different groups?
Well, association is very popular down here. Now, if you notice, we do send more corporate leads than we do the association leads. So when I went around to all of the properties at the beginning of the fiscal year, I said, what do you need from us? What do you need from us? And they all said they want more corporate business. So what we did is we fine-tuned our shows that we went to. We qualified our leads. We sent more leads that were better fit for the destination. So the actual conversion rate for association did go down a little bit year over year, but that's because we booked more corporate leads. And it's a better mix of business. Association is great. You book far out. You book between 1 to 3 to sometimes 5 years out. And the corporate business has a much shorter booking window, sometimes 3 months to a year. So the conversion rate went down, but this is a great area for associations to book far out. And it's nice to have that base business on the books, and then you can fill it in with leisure or group in the short term. Thank you. And here's Stephanie to update you on some of our international activities.
Thank you, Jill. Good morning, Council. For the record, my name is Stephanie Zinke. I'm the International Sales Manager, and I will give a brief recap of our international activities. As you may know, July and August are generally slower months in Europe due to summer vacation. So therefore, our Germany team, one thing they did participate in was a travel agent workshop. And in Canada, the team attended the site golf tournament this year. In destination, we welcomed a Norwegian tour operator who's looking to expand their Fort Myers portfolio for 2019-2020. We wrapped up the fiscal year with several activities and events in our core international markets. The Europe Sales Mission in Germany and the Netherlands covered 5 cities, including sales trainings, product manager meetings, as well as trade and media events, engaging with a total of 175 trade professionals. We hosted a trade luncheon and a media event in London with a total of 65 attendees. And just last week, we were at FIT in Buenos Aires, the largest travel and tourism trade show in Latin America, which included both a consumer as well as a trade day component. And also in partnership with Visit USA Committee Argentina, we did a travel agent workshop, which gave us the opportunity to present our destination and what we have to offer to 50-plus agents from 3 different countries within Latin America. Also, the beaches of Fort Myers and Sanibel were featured in a live TV, in a live interview in a travel and tourism TV program, highlighting the destinations that exhibited at the show this year. Up next, just to highlight a few things, for October, the focus is definitely on a B2C audience, meaning a consumer-targeted focus for trade shows and events in Canada and Germany, which is perfectly aligned with the start of our fall promotion co-ops with tour operators and online travel agents in these markets to remain top of mind for the 2019 booking season. For November, we have a lot of B2B trade activities planned to update and educate both tour operators as well as travel agents. The highlight in November is definitely World Travel Market held in London, where we will have over 50 meetings with airlines, tour operators, media, and online travel platform. And in December, we close out the year with the annual appreciation luncheon, which we host together with a group of hotel and industry partners who will join us in Miami and in Orlando for receptive tour operators to review the year, as well as say thank you for continued partnership with those to promote our destination internationally. And this really concludes my very short and sweet presentation. If there are no further questions, we move right along.
Stephanie, how is the wholesaler market, is that beginning to change still? I mean, where people are booking independently, I mean, directly out?
It depends a lot on the market. For example, if you look at Germany, the travel agent is very, very strong still. It's a very important sales channel for the wholesale to reach the end consumer through travel agents. Now, if you look at the UK, for example, over the last 2 years, we've seen a shift where there's a stronger shift towards the OTAs, being online travel agents, such as Expedia. Expedia opened their own B2B platform last year, so this has opened a whole new game, which has definitely taken away a little bit of business from travel agents as a traditional sales channel. Any further questions?
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now we have Judy.
Good morning. Judy Duran, Director of Visitor Services. Very happy to see all of you this morning. You will see before you just a few statistics. My report is very brief, but I'm happy to let you know that we have worked with over 25,000 visitors in this last cycle. We're very pleased to also be able to talk a lot about the Lonely Planet Travel Guide. 9,600 for this 3-month period is pretty good. And our top requests for information, you can see on there the hotels that are always showing up, and we really like that. It's really fun to see Drury these last 3 months. They've been working really hard. And also under the activities and attractions, you'll see the IMAG History and Science Center. Bike trails and cycling are hugely popular, and I cannot skip past this because I think I saw Mary sneak in here earlier. That picture below, it was National Talk Like a Pirate Day. So one of our volunteers, Don, who does pirate work on the side, if you will, he came in dressed as a pirate, and Mary visited us that day. So they were practicing doing the ARG, and it was really fun because she was a good sport, and he went around talking to children and having a lot of fun with that. Our community and partner support, here's just a brief recap of a few things we've done this past summer. The biggie for us, of course, is the Elaine McLaughlin Outstanding Hospitality Service Awards, nearly 750 attendees, a terrific program, and I'm kind of excited. Simone wanted me to share with you because she coordinates a program that she already has 230 nominations already set up for 2019, so that lady is working very hard. And special projects and destination education, there's a few things there. Did want to mention to you that we are working hard to get ready for the airport's mass casualty incident that's coming up later this month. And fun for us this summer was, of course, supporting Nancy and her team with the Alan Hopper Songwriter Fest. And for our look ahead, you will see the mass casualty incident. That comes infrequently, but it does. We love to be supportive with our volunteers, and they actually dress up as victims, and they support EMS and all the emergency planning that's happening. We'll be working hard to also welcome the new flights that are coming in. And then, of course, the TDC members, you will receive an invitation to the Volunteer Holiday Potluck, which is at Lakes Park. And that's it, short and sweet. If you have no questions, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Call up Megan to give the communications report.
Good morning, my name is Megan Contreras, and I'm here to present the communications report on behalf of Francesca Donlin. For the fourth quarter, we secured 430 million impressions. For the 2017-2018 fiscal year, we hit 3.2 billion impressions, and I'm excited to announce that we exceeded our goal of 3.1 billion impressions for the entire year. As you all know, we host a lot of journalists throughout the year. Earlier this year, we brought in Tracy Teo with the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, and she wrote a wonderful piece titled Sanibel Island, a Nature Lover's Paradise. That piece really was impressive and highlighted our nature, our wildlife, and our birding. And then a few months ago, we brought in a journalist from Miami who works for Indulge magazine, and she stayed on Gasparilla Island and on Sanibel and wrote a really great article about her time and her journey through both of those islands. So we were really excited to see those pieces recently come out. Our international teams are constantly promoting our destination to international journalists. We recently had a writer with Wanderlust Travel magazine write a great piece highlighting Sanibel as one of the best beaches to find seashells. We hosted a journalist from Canada on Fort Myers Beach, and her piece recently came out in Voyage's Destination. And it basically encompassed her 42 hours on Fort Myers Beach. And then a German journalist wrote a great piece about sports camps in the Sunshine State, and she highlighted some of the sporting events that we host here in Lee County. Now moving on to some of our recent initiatives, which include events like the Island Hopper Songwriter Fest. I am happy to announce that our attendance this year was up 23% over last year. And through our efforts, we were able to secure 24 million impressions, which is up over 350% from last year's festival. And you might be wondering why such an increase. Well, we believe it's because Hurricane Irma hit so close to our festival last year that a lot of the media resources were scattered over the area covering recovery and cleanup, so there really wasn't a lot of resources left to cover the festival. So we hope that the number goes up with our festival next year. Another recent initiative is our One Lee campaign, which was designed to help businesses impacted by the water quality issues. The VCB was one of 3 departments that went out on foot to obtain dozens of deals, and really the goal was to motivate residents to vacation, dine, and shop locally. We did collect over 150 deals, and those can be found at onelee.biz. Now moving on to our accolades, we always love talking about our accolades because this is where we are listed as one of the best. CBS News put out a piece called The Best Islands in America, and Sanibel Island made that list. Mom Does Reviews did a piece on the best places to take a vacation in Florida, and Captiva Island made that list. And I really love this one. Point Ebell Brewing Company made the list of 25 best breweries in Florida, and that was with Vacation Idea magazine. Now our media interactions. We have had a few lately, and recently Shelley Crant attended the Association of Great Lakes Outdoor Writers Annual Conference that was held in September. We hosted MB Roberts with Parade Magazine during the Captiva portion of our festival, and we hosted Jason Gordon with Orbits during the downtown portion of our festival, so we are eagerly awaiting their articles on the Island Hopper Songwriter Fest. Looking ahead, our calendars are very busy. Francesca Donlin is currently in New York for a Visit Florida media event. Later in November, I will be attending a travel massive event in Toronto. And also in November, we will be welcoming a freelance writer from New York who will be exploring our destination and writing about everything nature that we have to offer. Now that includes my presentation. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Any questions for Megan?
Great job.
Thank you, Megan. Also, I'd like to welcome Leslie Ann Thompson, LA.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Leslie Ann Thompson. I'm a VCB manager, marketing manager for campaigns and programs. Today, I'm here to introduce you to our most recent resident artist from the most recently concluded cycle. His name is Don Hutchinson. As an avid lover of nature and history, Don visited Fort Myers Beach regularly over a 25-year period before he finally gave in to the destination's allure and moved here full-time in December 2015. An active community resident, Don has channeled his love for taking scenic pictures into setting up a photography-based website called BlueTurtleGalleries.com because he feels it's a great way to share his vibrant imagery with others. But that's not all. When he's not out chasing colorful sunsets, Don sometimes leads kayak tours and also restores and collects old Schwinn bicycles in his spare time. In his application statement for the Resident Artist Program, Don told us that the more color something has, the more he's attracted to it. And he also said that the best part of being a photographer is that there's a story behind every photo. We're all very familiar with that saying, a picture's worth 1,000 words, aren't we? At this time, I'll invite Don to come up and tell us what this experience was like for him and what it meant to be our resident artist as we look at a slideshow of some of his images. Don?
Morning, everybody. Thank you, Leslie, for that. And I'm basically up here today to thank everybody in the commissioners and the VCB for the opportunity to get out there and express what I do throughout Lee County, finding all the beautiful spots and then trying to capture them to share with everybody. I have a few notes here, and I also spotted somebody way back in the corner I want to thank. That's Allison with the Mound House. If it wasn't for Allison, I would not even be standing here today, so thank you, Allison, back there. Again, I wanted to thank everybody. Elizabeth, I didn't see her here today, but I wanted, oh, there she is. I wanted to thank Elizabeth with MMMY Global. She was a big help, too. Thank you. This program has led me to rediscover Lee County through the lens of a tourist. And I couldn't just go to my favorite places and just do my regular stuff. So I had to basically just keep looking for new things or things that I hadn't discovered yet over the years in Lee County. I found myself chasing greyhounds at a race. I photographed the Battle of the Blue Way from the water, shared a minor league game with residents and their dogs, discovered Punta Rasa, barbecued on the Sandoval Causeway, boated the Miserable Mile, chased after Fort Myers Bike Club, followed sunsets on Fort Myers Beach, and visited the beautiful gardens of the Addison Ford Museums, which was quite an experience. What I found interesting, to kind of end this, is that out of all the images that the VCB selected, 2/3 included waters from the Gulf, estuaries, rivers, bays, and I just want to emphasize again, that is our most important resource in Lee County. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Great work there. Thank you. Next, we have Nancy McVie.
Good morning, Nancy McPhee, Product Development, and I'm here this morning because it's time to nominate subcommittees, TDC subcommittees, that will help us improve the process for both the events marketing and the attractions marketing funding programs. Both programs kick off in the spring, and we need to get with the committee who will review requests sooner. So next month, we hope to meet with them, and again, it's to make the program better. So this morning, we're going to ask you to make 2 actions. One, to nominate the Events Marketing Subcommittee, and I've provided to you the backup of the allocations that were approved by the TDC for this fiscal year for both events and attractions. And I've also listed the members that participated last year. So for Events Marketing, Pam Cronin was the chair, and we had 4 other TDC members participate. So your goal this morning would be to identify at least 3 and no more than 5 TDC members for that committee.
Rob?
Have you checked to see whether all the people that did it last year are willing to serve again this year?
I checked with 3. I did not check with Fran or Bill. So,
Well, then,
is Bill in?
Fran should be here. We will.
Okay, so we
I'm
have,
going to share with you, I spoke to Colleen last night, and she couldn't make it today, but she did tell me that she is happy to be voluntold to be on both committees again.
so Pam, are you willing to chair that committee again? So, okay, so that's 4 members. Is there anyone else that wanted to participate?
Did you include me? Because I'm...
Yes, I have Bill, Holly, Colleen, and Pam.
So if somebody can make a motion and include the names
Yes.
for the action, please.
So,
Rob?
I would make that motion, also including Fran, if she's willing to serve when you get a chance to speak with her.
okay, great.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
second.
Thank you.
Any objections? Objection, motion carries. Thank you. And we need a second action.
Yes, the second action is for the attractions marketing program. So this program historically has been administered by the Southwest Florida Community Foundation, and it has included members of the community on it. I've listed the members. Pam, Colleen, and Holly from the TDC participated, along with John Malecki and Cynthia Welsh. Both of them are willing to do it again. However, it's up to the TDC again to determine the makeup of that committee. We're asking for at least 3, no more than 5 committee members. And this program does need, we do have some suggestions for improving the process, so we're looking to meet with this committee sooner than the other one, like next month. Pam, did you have any comments?
I think that since the city's not involved in this any longer, that it should be strictly TDC members because of the culture and the history that we have with that. And I think we originally had the appointments because the city was involved and that made sense. Now that 100% of the funds are coming from tax collection dollars, I think that the committee should be made up of strictly TDC members.
Did you not find the two, I've always thought that an outside is helpful. Did you find the two at large? I thought their insight was pretty strong. So is there a different reason besides the cities or not having cities?
I think they worked hard and I think that was great. I just think that since it's TDC, that we're better stewards of the money than anybody since we have the history and I've been on this committee for more years than I really want to count.
No, it was my first year, so I'm just having some conversation.
No, that's just, how I feel about that. I think it's really important that the TDC members have an active part in that. Because it's a big, it's a big tax, $400,000.
How about more than 3? I think it would be important to probably have more than 3 because it is quite a bit.
I think we suggested 3 to
5, so possibly 5, because that was an intense amount of work. And as we know, working through, I think there are a couple of things that I know that are probably going to be looked at.
Yes.
And efficiency and applications.
Yep, the program is huge. We funded 37 out of 44 attractions this year, and we are looking to start that process earlier, even ahead of events marketing, so that it allows more time to do the review. So do we have committee members interested? Holly?
I'm certainly interested again.
And Colleen was interested, Pam? Was there anyone else from the TDC?
How often do they meet?
So we're going to meet in November to finalize the process and the guidelines, and then we launch a workshop in the spring, and once all of the requests are received, which we're looking at mid-May next year, the committee has a month to review them, and they do that online, similar to Beach and Shoreline, and then they meet one more time to discuss the allocations, probably sometime in June. So 2 meetings and a pretty intense review process that you do on your own.
I'll sign up.
Tony, you're a sport, Tony.
I'll fall on the sword once.
Nancy, is the Community Foundation administering that again?
They are, because we have an agreement approved by the Board of County Commissioners, but that, again, that's another discussion point that we will have in November, because I know there's some thoughts there, so,
And
yeah, for this year.
An odd number, because I know we did have some voting that an odd number was needed because of the voting that we did have.
So I don't know that you have to have an odd number. I think that this committee is just making recommendations that the full TDC will approve once you do your review, so you can bring...
To be nice. It's a workshop, so it's a recommendation,
Okay.
so it doesn't have to be a vote.
So I'm hearing Colleen, Pam, Tony, and Holly. Is that it then? So that'll be your motion, if someone would like to make it.
Make a motion.
I would make that motion. Pam, Colleen, myself, and Tony be on the Attraction Marketing Program Subcommittee.
So that we have a motion, we have a second. Any other discussion? Any objection? No objection. Thank you.
Thank you. I know it's a lot of extra time, and we appreciate it.
Great.
Thank you.
Yeah, before we talk to
I'm doing it for Renee. That's okay.
I was like, welcome, Tony.
Yeah.
It was my first year.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for everybody volunteering and spending so much time, because it's really important what we all do. We'll move going down to council information. Does anybody like to have anything to share? Pam, do you have anything to share with us? Councilman Karyosha? No? Bill?
I've got a couple of things. FLA hosted the Taco Cough at the high schools. We had 5 high schools to participate. Oasis Charter was our winner. Fan favorite was East Lee County High School. And the proceeds will go to high school hospitality scholarships that will be given out next spring. So, event-wise, we won't be hosting a member event in November. We're encouraging everybody to attend the VCB Sales and Marketing on November 15th. In December, we have Hops for a Holiday Party, which will be at Palm City Brewery. And then on a personal note, Pink Shell won Condé Nast Top Resorts. We were number 7 in the state. So
Congratulations.
I just get myself. I just want to say thank you to everybody for the last few months. I know it's been a trying time for our area, and I'll say thank you to Councilman Karyosha and Councilwoman Smith for your city's support through this crisis we've had the last 3 months, and all the vendors and all the hotelers and the restaurant people. To thank you for your patience. It's been a trying time. There is, I guess, there's a rainbow, for our area, and I feel really in our prayers with the residents in North Florida right now, but hopefully Michael helped us a little bit with the red tide. So if there's anything good out of that whole thing, and we'll keep the people in North Florida in our prayers. We have staff on the way up there now. I think our EMS people went there yesterday to stage with them, and we have local fire departments to stage with. I think Cape Coral maybe sent some people up there too. So our prayers are with them. But, on the horizon, thank you for Sanibel and all the cities being involved. I know myself and Holly and Mayor Wayne has been really involved with the water issues. A few weeks ago, myself and Holly was able to meet with Casey DeSantis and talk about trying to get their commitment to, obviously, for water quality for the future of Florida. The good news, yesterday the Senate finally, passed the water bill. So that's going to help us get to the next step, and now it's going to be funding, getting that. I'm very not just concerned, but I make sure we have to stay on top of this to make sure we pressure Congress to fund that in the future. That's the next step. So at least appropriations will be coming for that, and I'm confident Congressman Rooney's office will be very supportive of this. I've been in communication with his office weekly on that issue. So we're beyond cleanup mode now. Cape Coral, the canals are clean out there now. It's a good thing. We're hearing that's a good thing. So now we're in recovery mode. This is like worse. I think I might have said that day we were at the Marriott Sanibel Hotel that, this is worse than a hurricane, because hurricanes, we prepare for it. You can sandbag, you can prepare, board up, and then it passes and you just clean up and it's over with. And this has been sort of a 3-day event. It's been a 3-month event. So thank you for your patience, and hopefully we'll get through this and we'll stay on top of it. I know after next month when the dialogue changes, I'm sure there'll be a little bit less commercials and less talk about it. I'm going to stay on top of it because we have to. We cannot let this die off, so we have to deal with this in the future, because if we don't stay on top of it, it will come back again. So thank you for everybody's support on that, and the cities for working together. We just Glenn just gave me notice that the Water Management just approved the Lee County's agreement with them. They're actually taking over 13 bodies of water here in Lee County to manage. So we're working with Water Management on our local water quality projects to make sure we're not contributing more to our estuaries and contributing to the causes. So we don't want to be a cause or problem. We want to fix the problems, and so we're looking forward to that. Them taking those bodies of water over, and we're going to keep talking to them about 10 Mile Canal and some other projects in Lee County. So again, thank you for everybody and their support for that. Councilwoman Smith?
I just wanted to say, it was my first island hopper, and I hopped from Captiva to Fort Myers to Fort Myers Beach, and I can't say enough about the VCB, BMI, all of the hoteliers, and all the hard workers. It was such a pleasure to see that much excitement around the county, and I think it brought a lot more this year, from my understanding, with the numbers being up. And like I said, we really needed it. It was at a great time, and thank you all for all you did. We are cautiously optimistic on what's going on with our water quality, with the red tide right now. Our levels are lower. However, we know with any wind and tide, we're not sure where we're at, but it's been a good breath for us to just kind of see a little bit of a change, and and we hope that continues because we know how important that is to our tourism industry in Southwest Florida. I did have one question on our marketing, if I could, because at our last meeting, we did have funds that were set aside. And just to get an idea of where we are and the direction we're going in for the VCB, are we still kind of holding off a little bit? Just, the unknown I know is still there, and we all realize that. But where we might be in that direction, what your thoughts are, Tam?
Sure. Yeah. Obviously, I want to make sure we're clear in the community, for those listening in the audience and maybe online. We never stopped marketing. Our regular marketing plan went forward as we had planned it. We might have delayed a few things a little bit, just timing of placement, or maybe change some of the images, focusing more on some of our inland assets and things off the beach as opposed to on the beach there for a period of time. But we never did stop marketing. I think there may be a little bit of confusion in the community that maybe we turned the nozzle off. We never did. Right. In terms of the additional funds, we have been developing a plan and modifying it a few times, as you can guess, because the timing of this, we want to have some placements. Of course, you can't buy the placements until you're 100% sure. So we've shifted a couple of times, hoping that this would end a little sooner than it has. But we have a plan that kind of starts out immediately with digital marketing, because we can turn that on very, very quickly. And that eventually leads into some television placements. We were anticipating that those television placements would come post the election. We're getting close to having to say, go ahead and make that buy. I want you to know, we need to lock it in. I think we're getting close to being comfortable locking it in. So that TV placement will definitely be going shortly after the election is over, is our goal. We're ready. We are completely ready. We just need a little bit of assurance that it's not going to be washing back ashore, in the middle of our campaign and saying that everything's great again. So yeah, is that what you wanted to hear, or do you want more detail?
Absolutely answering my questions. I can tell you, it's nice as for hoteliers. I think I can speak for some of the hotels that I've spoken to and mine. It's nice to see a little bit less cancellations and a little bit more reservations. So, we all have to be cautiously optimistic, and we know the VCB will lead us in making sure our marketing comes out at the right time. So, thank you.
You want to perhaps give them an update on all the other components of Lee County activity? Because, this is one component.
And I do understand that.
Sure, Mr. Chair. Okay. Well, one other thing we are doing is we've engaged the international public relations firm Edelman, and that is to help us with some of the immediate response that needs to happen in addition to the marketing that Tamara just described. So that engagement is ongoing and I think is already yielding some good benefits. I think you're talking about some of the cleanup efforts and that kind of thing. Sure. So, all right, I'll just recap what happened, and we'll hope that it's pretty much over, right? I think everybody knows county-wide we ended up cleaning up more than 2,000 tons of marine debris. So, incredibly significant undertaking, the largest in our history by far. Probably at a cost of in the neighborhood of $2.6 million. And the good bit of news out of all of that is we worked very hard with the state to cover almost all of that. So whereas we had some exposure on tourist development tax, we've shrunk that dramatically. We may get out of this with spending around $150,000 of our own money, if we're lucky. And Commissioner Pendergrass has signed many grant agreement modifications throughout these many weeks, and he knows full well how lucky we kind of got on that score. With the blue-green algae, we've collected almost 500,000 gallons of slurry, and that's around, call it $1.6 million. And again, fortunately, we've gotten that covered completely by the state of Florida. So I think in those regards, we're looking pretty good. And then if I could, I just want to echo everybody's thanks on the One Lee campaign. Really appreciate the community joining in that, offering some great deals that we were able to advertise, print, news, TV, radio, I mean to say. And it also, this One Lee concept gives us a platform that we can use repeatedly as we go forward for a community-wide response to things of this nature. So it's worked out really nicely. And the last thing I'd like to say is not to pat ourselves on the back, but I really do want to thank staff. VCB, sports development, economic development all came together to pound the pavement, knock on a lot of doors to make that happen, and it was right in the midst of all of this stuff plus Island Hopper. And so they really did have to stretch. They really rose to the challenge, and just so proud of them, and just want to say thank you. But if you guys have any more questions about any of that, please, I'd be happy to try to answer.
Thank you. Going to put that up there.
And to add, I mentioned this in a couple of my email updates out. Visit Florida put together a $500,000 program by which DMOs could request grants from them. We received a notification that our $77,500 grant request was approved. That's for a New York Times placement. I think time-dated images, I think it's going to be really, really good for us. Secondarily, we joined in on a 5-county Southwest Florida joint grant request, Bradenton down to Collier County, and that request was approved as well, $112,500, of which a portion will benefit our area. So both grant requests that we submitted to Visit Florida have been supported, and I want to add that Visit Florida is raring to go just as much as Lee County is. They're ready to start promoting our area. I've been in touch with several folks that are working with them that are going to be in the area. I reached out and planted a seed to get some brewery activity going. They sent a writer down the next day to start writing some articles about that. So they're really doing a good job on our behalf as well. So a big thank you to them. And most importantly, we talked about Island Hopper, and I think it's just really important to say thank you to our partner, iHeartMedia, and to BMI for Island Hopper. I think, it has become the September savior, I guess we'll call it, for our community. That was never, it was our intention for it to be a September savior in a different way, but we are really pleased with the numbers. I think that the partners really embraced it this year. Spending, we surveyed all the participating venues. I haven't gotten back as many surveys as I'd like, but the reports were that food and beverage sales were up 28% from the people who have responded. So I think it was not only good, a good image for our area, but also I think it made a difference in those businesses. So that's the goal.
Thank you. Rob?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank the staff too for their efforts and songwriters, but also that just sort of was part of this bigger picture workload that went into trying to come up with a very positive image. I can't believe how many people from Lee County commented so our own people that were able to go enjoy that. And then from that, they were able to share their experiences digitally. We talk about digital marketing and coming up with a budget for it, but we're all walking around as digital marketers. And to some extent, I feel like we need to keep that in mind as we enjoy and live in Lee County and share those positive experiences. I can't tell you how many people I talked to, and we had some terrible issues with water quality red tide, there's no doubt, but they thought it was so widespread and ongoing that they weren't even going to some of the beaches. And that's really unfortunate because we had 2 just phenomenal months, about a month and a half of just beautiful weather. We had a lot of east breeze, which was helpful with the red tide, but also made it a very livable thing out on the water. So keep that in mind. We can market ourselves. We don't want to be dishonest with the public, but at the same time, you see beautiful things, share them with your friends, because that's going to then spread around, and people will know, hey, they can get back into Lee County and enjoy it. So thank you.
Great, thank you. Tony?
Just to echo everybody else with songwriters, I mean, it was truly a great boost for morale as much as economic thing for the staffs and the people that work in the restaurant business and all that. It was really phenomenal. I know one of the pictures was with our pool, where people were pretty solid, you know. I think we might have exceeded the capacity. I wasn't sure, but anyways, it really was really nice and well received, and the weather was just top notch for us. We were, sometimes we can get those storms that come in early afternoon, but they didn't come in until later on, which really helped. And it was just a great job by all the staff, the VCB, and everybody who made it so successful. And to look back, 5 years when you all started it and thought of a signature event, to see it grow into this, and like you say, we looked at it as a savior in a different way, but certainly the last two songwriters have really been that extra boost that we needed, so congratulations.
And I failed to say something I should have. The Southwest Florida Community Foundation, their donation that first weekend for the 2 hours of no tolls for the people passing the causeway, for them to cover those tolls, that was a huge help as well. I think that helped with the Captiva numbers. I heard from some of the Sanibel businesses that it benefited them as well, and so a big thank you to the Community Foundation, their generous donation to that too.
Great, thank you. Any other comments before we adjourn? If not, everybody be safe. We'll see you next month. We'll adjourn.
Thank you.
Reminder, next month's meeting is on the 15th, which is a special date, and also at the West End, not here.
We're trying to.